Hello there.
Lightsaber combat in Star Wars Battlefront 2 is like if you took Souls-like fighting mechanics and dropped them into a third-person shooter. It's so much deeper than you might think. These are 10 useful lightsaber combat tips in Battlefront 2, and the game won't tell you about any of this. Take it from me, I've got nearly 6,000 hours in this game, and at least 1,000 of those have been spent in the Hero Showdown mode, getting into 1 versus 1 lightsaber duels.
I challenge you to a duel.
I accept.
Let's first talk star cards. In 1 versus 1 fights, there are some cards that are outright useless, like Darth Vader's Last Gasp, for example, which increases the choke's damage if you hit 2 or more enemies. Great in the 4 versus 4 mode, but if you're only fighting 1 person in a duel, then there's no point in running that card. In the context of a 1 versus 1, the absolute best star cards you can possibly run are the health regeneration cards on Obi-Wan Kenobi, General Grievous, and Count Dooku. With these equipped, you can take almost half your health bar in damage and still heal back up to full. When you take damage, that grayed out section of the health bar indicates how much you can heal back. So with the health regeneration cards, you can take a little more punishment. Vader's Bonus Health and Anakin's Tenacious are also great cards. Basically, anything that maxes out your health is good here. The other best cards to run in a duel are damage boosters, like Anakin's Massive Strikes, Grievous's Sith Trained, Luke's Intensify, or Rey's Damaging Strike. Some players don't like running those damage boosters because some of them have a stamina penalty, and that's fine. A lot of your star card choice comes down to playstyle too. Some other powerful cards I like running in duels are Rey's Balance for an extra dodge,
This right here is my favorite thing ever.
Rey's Focused Sight for a longer duration of the middle ability, Berserking Tantrum on Kylo Ren for more stamina, Lightsaber Defense on Darth Maul, which is actually bugged. It gives him 60% damage reduction from sabers while using Spin Attack. It's insane. Yoda's Agility gives him an extra block breaker. Dooku's Last Seconds makes his knock cooldown faster. There's a lot of good cards you can run. It's mostly just about avoiding the ones that don't serve you in a duel. So let's get into the actual combat mechanics now, and first technique to look at is the lunge. Lightsaber attacks are tied to movement in Battlefront 2. When you attack with your saber, you take a step forward with every swing. The lunge is just the next level, and you can practice this without an opponent. When you sprint and attack, it lunges you forward and covers more distance than if you were just attacking while standing still. It's a way to get to your opponent without having to actually move your hero. You can either drop your block and run at them to cover that distance, which leaves you open to get hit, or you can lunge at them from a distance while keeping that block up before and after the attack. To do it, just hold forward on the left stick, or W, when you're in range of your opponent, and when you attack, you'll lunge right at them. The move is simple, but it takes an understanding of range and distance management. When you start practicing this move, you'll figure out the range pretty quick because you'll either lunge or you won't. If you don't lunge, then you're too far away. It's actually faster than sprinting in some cases, and comboing a lunge after landing a force push, for example, is insanely strong. One of my favorite things to do to practice this is to try to keep up with Boba Fett's who are flying away. Even if you don't hit him, if you input the lunge when you're in range, you'll literally fly toward him and you can catch up to him. Like most things in Battlefront 2, it's a timing thing, and all about when you input the command. It's a really basic move, but a surprisingly small number of players use it on purpose. It's not really hidden tech, but it kind of is. I like using lunges to bait out parries, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but on the topic of bait, let's go over fakes and feints. So because dueling is a timing game, you need to time your abilities and attacks for when your opponent is exposed, otherwise they can just block you. Baiting an opponent to either drop their block or waste an ability is some next level stuff, but if you can do it well, you'll feel like an absolute pro. For example, the last ability I ever want to get hit by is Darth Vader's choke. It's basically a death sentence if he catches you in it, so when I'm fighting Vader's, I'm always mindful of when he has his choke, and I'm always trying to bait it out. Some of my favorite Vader baits are stutter steps, bunny hops, or feints, and these can apply to any other hero or ability too. I'm just using Vader's choke here as an example because it's so strong. Stutter steps are a lot of fun. It's basically just a very short sprint and then immediately going back into a block. The idea is that your opponent sees you start to run at them, so they think it's a good moment to catch you with an attack or ability, but really you'll end up blocking it. Bunny hops, basically the same idea. You can't block in the air, so your opponent thinks they can catch you, but by the time your feet touch the ground again, you've already blocked their attack. Feints come in different forms. You can either look to the side as a distraction and then look back, or you can sprint toward them and dodge back. You really just want to be unpredictable and use movement to draw out the game-changing abilities like the choke, and once it's on cooldown, you know you're safe to attack. Recognizing patterns is a major part of dueling. Always keep your opponent guessing, and fakes and baits are a great tool to do that. Attack animations are a really interesting thing in Battlefront 2. They have different timings, and you can actually control which animations you start your combos with. When you're attacking while standing still, you always start your combo with the same animation, so the combo will follow a sequence of attacks. If you dodge before you start your combo, though, you can actually control which animation you begin with. For example, the left-hand dodge begins the combo with a different animation than the right-hand dodge, and so the sequence of attacks will come out different. This is one of those things where you just have to spend some time trying different animations with the heroes, because they're all unique. As a general rule, not always, but most of the time, the left dodge and the right dodge attack patterns usually start with a very fast swing. That attack just seems to connect a lot faster than some other attack animations. If I want to start my combo with that attack, I make sure that the last dodge I do is a dodge to either side so that my combo starts with the right animation. On that note, let's bring up the one topic that I know everybody wants to talk about. Let's talk parries.
Parry?
So, Battlefront 2 has a mechanic where you can parry an enemy saber attack and hit them right after, and a lot of players might find it on accident. It's very strong, and it's a great way to earn some respect from an opponent who thinks they can just bully you. The trick to this move is to hold block while you time an attack right after your opponent. Their hit will get blocked, and because you input your attack while they were exposed, yours will be the one that connects. This move probably illustrates how Battlefront 2 is a timing game better than any other technique, because it's all about which player has better timing. Visually, you want to look for the moment their lightsaber hits your block. When you see that flash is when you input an attack, and you'll parry them. The timing works the same for abilities too. You can parry an attack with a force power, like Luke's push or Dooku's stun. When I know I've got someone's timing, instead of using the saber, I'll parry them with an ability that knocks them down so I can follow up with another hit, maybe two, instead of just the one parry, and it results in way more damage. That also really puts pressure on the opponent because they've taken 3 huge hits. Now you're in their head and they're reluctant to swing on you again. If you feel like you're getting bullied, turtling up and timing your attacks to parry them can get you enough respect where they stop. One of my favorite moves is the double parry, where instead of stopping at just one hit, you input 2 attack commands and get some double damage. It's perfect for finishing fights when you know they're within 2 hits, but it's also risky because the way the timing works is during the second hit they can trade with you, and you can also take damage. Trading blows is a legit tactic because if you're hitting each other, the winner will just be whoever had more health at the start of the trade. Parrying is the bread and butter move in lightsaber duels. You absolutely want to learn this move, and getting it down will instantly up your game. Building off that, I want to talk about combos and input stacking. So if you've ever played a fighting game like Mortal Kombat or Soul Calibur, this will make a lot of sense. Battlefront 2 has pretty noticeable input delay. When you hit a button to do something, the action happens about a half second after you've input the command. You can also stack inputs in this game. That's why when you spam swing your lightsaber for a few seconds and then stop mashing the button, you'll still do another attack or two after you've stopped. You can use this the same way that it works in fighting games, and the benefit in Battlefront 2 is that combos are so much simpler than memorizing different button combinations. Combos are just simple attacks followed by an ability. And it doesn't sound impressive until you see it in action. In Battlefront 2, there's a stun lock mechanic, where after you've been hit by a melee, you're open to get hit by a second attack before the block kicks in. That brief window where you can get the second hit in is why the combo works. Your basic attack stun locks them, and the ability connects while they're exposed. There are so many strong combos you can do. My personal favorite is with Rey. I'll land a hit and right away combo into the dash strike to knock them down, which leaves them open to another hit or 2. In total, I can get 4 hits in because of that combo. Most heroes have combos like this. Luke, Yoda, and Maul can combo into a dash. Grievous can combo into Claw Rush, Obi-Wan combos into Defensive Rush, Vader can even combo into his Choke, which is a really good way to land it. You can even combo after a parry. If you know you've got their timing, parry them and then immediately combo into your ability. Combos take huge chunks of HP, so it's good to have a few under your belt. And like with all things Battlefront, it's all about timing. Do the combo too fast and it won't register. Do it too slow and you won't combo smoothly. It just takes practice. If I can find the timing, I guarantee you can find it too. Let's move on to hook swings. These are the ultimate finishing move in lightsaber duels, and it's a pretty advanced move, so don't worry if it takes a while to get it. I wouldn't even say it's necessary to learn this, but you should at least be aware of it so that you know how to avoid it, because there will be players trying to hook on you. So the hook swing is just a camera hack. It's just a jump attack where you jump straight through an opponent who is blocking, you spin your camera in a 180 and attack in midair, and it lets you bypass the block and get a hit into their back. If they're one hit away, this is an excellent move to finish the duel, and oftentimes it's difficult to counter if the hook swinger knows what they're doing. There's two tricks to this move. The first is maxed out sensitivity. Playing on 100-100 will let you do the hook swing way easier since you can swing the camera around fast. The other trick is to engage zoomed sensitivity while hooking by holding the block button. You won't actually be blocking because you're in the middle of an attack. The point is just to activate zoomed sensitivity because it's twice as fast as soldier sense. Hooks are pretty hard to figure out, but once you do your first one, you'll know what it feels like and you can chase that again. The best tip I can give for these is to bait your opponent's dodges and predict which way they'll move. Most heroes only have 2 dodges, so try to line up with where you think they'll end up after the second dodge and then hook in that direction. To avoid the hook swing, you want to be conservative with the dodging because they're going to be looking for that second dodge. Moving backwards makes it harder to line up the hook, and when you know they're going for it, you can kinda turn your camera with them to try to block the hit to the back. You can even parry hook swings, but that's a little risky. If hooks are proving a little difficult, you can try this instead. Dodge patterns and angles are great ways to get some cheesy damage in there. Angles especially are annoying because they're hard to block and easy to pull off if you understand the distance. Basically, you just dodge into your opponent from the right range, and that puts you in a spot where you're kind of inside their model and you can get a hit in while they can't hit you. It's really cheesy, but at this point, it's a feature, not a bug, so might as well learn how to do it. Dodge patterns are just another way to get behind your opponent, and Dooku and Rey are the best for this, since they get that third dodge that lets them literally stay one step ahead of their opponent. Most players will only expect one dodge in a particular direction. Seldom do they see the second one coming, and almost never do they see the third one. Coming up with fun dodge patterns to psych your opponent out is great, and especially with Rey and Dooku, they have their abilities that knock the target down for follow-up. I like doing triangles with Rey and Dooku and then going for the knock. It uses all your dodges up, but they come back so fast that it's not a problem. The last technique that I want to go over in this video are animation cancels, and I'll admit these are more fancy than anything. But if you can do them, you can string some wicked combos together. So the animation cancel is a hack that lets you attack with your lightsaber without finishing the attack animation. The way to do it is dodge in any one direction while holding block. That's very important, is holding block throughout this entire move. After the dodge finishes, you do a bunny hop and a jump attack, and what ends up happening is the jump attack goes through, but the end of the dodge interrupts the jump animation, and it ends up looking like this. The attack is going through here, but I'm seriously reducing that window where I'm open to get countered. You can't really parry an animation cancel because the block kicks in so much faster. The trick to this move is to wait for the visual cue. After you dodge and you see your lightsaber start to come back up, that's when you input the jump attack. Again, it's all about timing. Too fast or too slow, and you'll end up just doing a regular jump attack. Animation cancels are fantastic for starting combos like we talked about earlier. I love doing it with Rey especially. I'll animation cancel comboing into a dash strike, and it's pretty devastating. Can you kind of see how all these moves work together? Like, you can animation cancel or parry into a combo, throw in some dodge patterns to keep your opponent guessing, get an angle, line up with them and bait the dodge, and then finish them off with a hook swing. It's an art form. They call boxing the sweet science. I call lightsaber duels the saber science. I said I had 10 tips, and this last one, it's not really a tip, but more a reality. You gotta practice this. I make the joke that I'm the undefeated, undisputed Battlefront 2 champion of the world, but the truth is there's always a bigger fish, and at the absolute highest level of gameplay, any one player can defeat another. It just comes down to the day and how that player is performing. Guys, I hope you found this video helpful. I had a lot of fun making it, and it's a video that I probably needed to make years ago, but better late than never. If you found any of these tips helpful, force push that thumbs up button for me, since that tells YouTube I'm doing a good job. And if you want to stay in the loop with more Battlefront 2 videos, consider subscribing and getting notified. I have an enormous back catalog of videos from when I used to make content on this game. The Battlefront Renaissance is amazing right now. Alright guys, that's it from me. Thanks for checking out the video. This has been Star. Stay stellar. Keep shining, baby.